require of site remediation or capping, concealing, and abandoning a well.
If you would like an answer to that, I can give it to you.
Awesome. And my next question is, I've heard that the figures are between 10 and 15 or 10 and 20% of New Brunswick's groundwater and aquifers are actually mapped. Is that correct? Or
I don't know.
Do you know the general flow of the water, but do you really not know how the water?
I don't know of that specific number of how much is mapped, but New Brunswick does have a poor groundwater mapping system. That is known as a huge thing that
Should we have this man answer her question?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, the decommissioning of a well is a very regulated procedure and process, and I'm going to give you just a basic, simple kind of procedure. Consider a well that has surface casing in it. Probably all of you have read or searched enough on the internet to understand that that's the first casing string that's set, and it's going to be somewhere below the depth of the water table. And then let's just consider a simple case with a vertical well at 5,000 feet, whatever. And the producing zone might be down there at 4,900 feet, and maybe it's a 50-foot thick interval that's been perforated and fracked or stimulated, okay? So when that well gets to the point where it's uneconomic, the jurisdictions that I've operated in, and I'm certain that it will be this way here as well, typically what they'll ask you to do is to set a solid cement plug across that producing interval with some overlap above and below, okay, 50 or 100 feet. I don't know. It depends on the specific application, so that it isolates that particular zone, all right? And then oftentimes, between that producing zone and up to the surface casing, you're going to have cement that has been put in the well with the production casing. Okay? I wish I had something to draw with, but anyway. And if there's any intervals in there that contain water and or minute amounts of oil and gas that might not be economic, a lot of times they'll ask you to put cement across those intervals too. Now we have kept the casing is staying in the ground, okay, as well as the cement sheath around it. So sometimes you'll have intervals that they ask for those cement plugs as well. Now, the inspector out there with you while you're plugging the well, he'll have the paperwork that says, well, I've got to run a cement plug, say, from 4,800 to 5,200 feet. Okay, so we pump that in there and get it set. And then we have to go in with tubing, with smaller pipe, and tag the top of that to ensure that it is where it is supposed to be. If it is too deep, then we have to add cement. Don't get away with just saying, oh, I think I did this right. Just prove it. Okay, now, so each one of the cement plugs that you set, that has to be done. Now, remember the surface casing. A lot of times they'll ask you to then go in and set yet another plug. It's called in and out of surface. So we'll set a plug of cement in there that will be 50 to 100 feet from the depth of where that surface casing is down and up. And we tag and make sure that it's in place. And then finally, at the surface, very near the surface, another 50 to 100 foot plug is set. And then that casing is cut off right below plow depth, and a steel cap is welded on. So that is the decommissioning of a well. Now, if that's the only well on the lease, on the producing lease, then all the equipment that was used to produce, Stehanie showed a picture up there of some separators, all of that is decommissioned and taken off the location and either used somewhere else or trashed. And then any of the underground piping that was used to take that gas away from the well and onto other pipe systems and or storage tanks for water, they're all decommissioned and taken off the lease. And then the lease is restored to its original condition, and we replant it with whatever the native grasses or the trees were before we started. So that's more or less the entire process. It's highly regulated. It should be highly regulated. We wouldn't want to do it any other way.
And just who is the inspector employed by?
Usually where we've been operating, it would be by the government.
Okay.
The states that I've operated in, I've operated in 6 or 8 states, and they're all government employees.
So I
long is the operator responsible for what happens on that
Exactly.
one end?
Concrete does crack.
There's settling and there's movement,
Steel
and
rust.
how long will that stay there?
One question at a time. Who is always ultimately responsible? The operator, okay? All right, now, in other jurisdictions, excuse me, let me finish. The other jurisdictions I've operated in, there are bonds and or insurance, okay? So, you know, you don't want to have, and we would encourage this province to have a similar scenario, is you don't want ever to have the ability for the people of this province to ultimately be responsible for that. No way. We wouldn't support that in any other way. So, however they ultimately decide to do that, there is a system in place right now. Is it adequate for a larger development? Probably not. I know the government's working very hard to expand their rules and regulations and look at all the other community and land use issues. Now, you had another couple of questions there.
No, it's just, I just think long term. This is just a little blip of time that we're here. I'm gonna take the gas out, wreck everything in the process. But in 100 years, what's gonna be left? These, you know, carcasses of wells that somebody did back on, and everybody else has to clean up. Like, are they gonna be around in 100 years?
I'm not gonna tell you
back
that.
to, like, you know.
That we would be around in 100 years, but provisions need to be put in place that scenario won't happen. And I can show you pictures in other places, in the state of Texas, for example, where there's been major activity from developing large oil fields that now, if you flew an airplane over it, you would never know anybody was ever there.
It's still there.
So,
It's still there.
Can you grow or have the lifestyle?
oh yes, absolutely, absolutely. When it's properly done, absolutely.
What's the quality of drinking water in those areas?
Excuse me?
The areas that you're talking about, what's the quality of the drinking
We
water?
all drink the water. Listen, you know, the issue of the drinking water is king everywhere. Absolutely king everywhere. And we don't take that lightly, ever, okay? I know in my own personal experience, nearly 30 years, I've either done it myself or been responsible for the completing, i.e. the fracking of probably close to 3,000 wells. Not once have we ever had any troubles, okay? And I don't ever expect to. This notion of being able to frack 6,000, I'll tell you about that in just a second. 5,000 or 6,000 feet, it just cannot physically happen. Now, he asked about this